Hello everyone, this is your instructor, Dr. Tariq Hussain. Welcome to the class, and today we'll talk about a brief overview of marketing. That is the content of chapter 1. So follow me through the PowerPoint presentation, and this will be posted in Blackboard for your review. So here we go. So these are the learning objectives. As you can read, we are going to define formally what marketing is in a rather comprehensive way, and all of us probably have an idea about what marketing is, but we'll have a formal definition. Next, we'll talk about the core of marketing, which is the exchange between a consumer and a business entity, like farms, and that sets in motion the whole marketing activities. The third objective will be to understand how marketing by one organization can also help society and other organizations. And the fourth objective is understand the 4 P's of marketing. You may have heard of that already. And fifth, we'll talk about some historical development in the field of marketing. And lastly, but not the least, how firms conduct value-based marketing. Alright, so let's just start with marketing. We are experiencing marketing every day as a consumer or as a worker, as a shopper, and so forth. But what exactly is marketing? There is a lot of common perceptions out there, lay perceptions, like marketing is sales, marketing is advertising, but what is it? What is the essence of marketing? What is 1 minute summary of what marketing is? Basically, the marketing is the art and science of creating sustainable customer value by delivering products and services that consumers would love to have. And at the center of it, as you can see, is creating customer value. And not only that, it shouldn't be one-off. It should be sustainable, meaning it should be durable, enduring, meaning the firm that are engaged in creating customer value would stay around a long time and not just fail to keep up with the customer demand, evolving demands and wants. And while we define marketing, we should talk about some misconceptions about it. Marketing involves much more than selling or advertising or just delivering the product in the distribution systems. Those are certainly big functions of marketing, but marketing is much more than the sum of these parts. So basically, marketing is an integrated enterprise that coordinates deep knowledge of customer needs and behavior with designing, manufacturing, and distributing the products or services to the end customers. So here's a video that I picked for you, and you can watch it at your leisure, but I'm going to start a couple of minutes maybe. So it's a TED Talk.
So I work in marketing, which I love, but my first passion was physics. A passion brought to me by a wonderful school teacher when I had a little less grey hair. So he taught me that physics is cool because it teaches us so much about the world around us, and I'm going to spend the next few minutes trying to convince you that physics can teach us something about marketing. So, quick show of hands, who studied some marketing at university? Who studied some physics at university? Ooh, pretty good. At a school? Okay, lots of you. So hopefully this will bring back some happy or possibly some slightly disturbing memories. So, physics and marketing. We'll start with something very simple. Newton's law. The force equals mass times acceleration. This is something that perhaps Turkish Airlines should have studied a bit more carefully. before they ran this campaign. But if we rearrange this formula quickly, we can get to acceleration equals force over mass, which means that for a larger particle, a larger mass, it requires more force to change its direction. It's the same with brands. The more massive a brand, the more baggage it has, the more force is needed to change its positioning. And that's one of the reasons why Arthur Andersen chose to launch Accenture rather than try to persuade the world that Andersons could stand for something other than accountancy. It explains why Hoover found it very difficult to persuade the world that it was more than vacuum cleaners, and why companies like Unilever and P&G keep brands separate like Ariel and Pringles and Dove rather than having one giant parent brand. So the physics is that the bigger the mass of an object, the more force is needed to change its direction. The marketing is that the bigger a brand, the more difficult it is to reposition it. So think about
All right, so you can watch the rest of the video. Very exciting and entertaining way of presenting marketing, and compared with physics, of course. But branding is a big part of marketing, as you saw. And we'll be talking about that in the future chapters. So let's move on to the next objective, which is talk about understand customer needs and the exchange, the idea of exchange. So here's another video that I chose for you. This is about a moving day in Montreal, Canada. It so happens that July 1st is the moving day, and I didn't know there is an official moving day until I saw this video. So let's take a look here, how IKEA is capitalizing on this moving day.
Every July 1st long weekend in Canada, a cultural phenomenon happens. The people of Quebec move. They call it Moving Day. This leads to all kinds of chaos. Imagine 225,000 people in a city of 1.8 million moving all at the same time. There isn't enough of anything. Trucks, movers, even boxes. This year, IKEA helped Quebecers make moving easier with the simple act of providing moving boxes. But not just any moving boxes. These boxes were printed with moving tips, a checklist, a helpful dinner offer at the local IKEA, and of course, a great offer on new IKEA furniture for the new place. To get the boxes into the hands of the people, we created pyramids of boxes at giveaway sites at the store and around town. We printed other boxes with headlines and turned those into media. We clipped them up and people took them away. We also promoted the boxes on radio and took over the radio station so it could play music to get people moving, commercial-free, on the actual day. The results? Visitors were up 14% from the same weekend the previous year, and sales went up 24.5%. That's like sales for an entire extra store. And that's a better moving day for everyone.
Pretty interesting story. You can see the sales went up by 24% just by giving free boxes. So you can get, you start to get an idea what marketing is. It requires creativity, of course, but it is always focused on what could satisfy customers' needs in a unique way. So at the first blush, we could say IKEA was crazy because there's a lot of waste, a lot of money, and people probably would take free boxes and not shop, but that clearly wasn't the outcome. Alright, so the learning objective we had was that the center of marketing, we have the exchange between the farm and the consumer. And what the consumer gets from the farm is products and services, and the businesses receive in return money and information. So the money part is obvious because consumers pay for the stuff they get, but what about information? The information is basically about their product experience, or what time they purchase, how much they purchase, and that creates a database for farms to use to come up with future products and services. So that's the nature of marketing. The exchange is supposed to be mutually beneficial, otherwise the exchange wouldn't happen. If the consumers do not find value in the products or services, they will simply stay away, and the products or services will be unsold. And conversely, if the businesses does not make a profit or satisfy other goals, they won't exist, and the consumers would not receive the products or services that they badly need. So this is a win-win proposition, and to have the objectives of both farms and consumer meet, both needs to be creative, especially the businesses. That's why we're studying marketing. Alright, so the other learning objective was how marketing can help society as well, or one organization can help another organization. So marketing is not only limited to for-profit organizations, as you can see. It is used to find missing children. It is used to convince people to quit smoking or other addictive habits. So the whole society benefits. You probably have heard of many public service announcements about safe driving, not drive and drink or drink and drive, and also companies promote their business to employees or potential employees, so they can attract the best and brightest. And also marketing also is used to promote one company to another company. For example, Apple is promoting its company's image to suppliers, so they can have a wonderful relationship with suppliers, and it's a win-win partnership between them, and marketing can help in that regard as well. So let's talk about the 4 P's of marketing, as we are all familiar with it already to some extent. The 4 P's stand for product, promotion, price, and place in no particular order. And as you can see on the screen, it's a simplistic scheme or graphical presentation of the whole marketing activity. So product means companies shape products that design products that consumers want. That includes packaging, labeling, the optimal content size, portion, and labeling as well. And then we look at promotion. If consumers are not buying the products fast enough in terms of the farm's taste, then that needs to be incentivized. Also, the product exists, that needs to be made aware, the publicity. So that's where the promotion comes in. It's convincing customers the product is great, and what is that your particular product offers that is not present in a competitive offering. So that's the job of promotion. And we'll talk about these 4 P's in great details in the upcoming chapters. So the next is price. The price is what captures the value for the company. The consumers obviously are always comparing what value they get against the price, because the price is the cost, the money they part with, and if the value they receive is less, then obviously the product will not be sold. So the price has to be set in such a way that it's lower than what the consumers perceive the value to be, or at least equal to, in order for the exchange to take place. The next P is the place. The place means where people buy the product or service. That's the distribution. You're not going to drive miles or hundreds of miles to a manufacturer facility to pick up the product. The product has to be distributed in a convenient way, so you don't have to drive too far. Most of us are used to buy products in a store. So the stores and retail outlets, those together are called channels of distribution, and all the intermediaries are also included in the channels of distribution. So that's what place entails, how products move from the manufacturer to the end consumer. So here are a few more details about all the 4 Ps. So the product, as we mentioned, it is the first step of creating value, and marketing creates value for consumers by developing various products, not just one version of a product, various flavors, various shapes, and adding services to them so the product becomes more appealing in terms of satisfying customers' needs. Think about Coke products that we are so familiar with. And there's not just one kind of Coke. You've got Diet Coke and Cherry Coke, Coke Zero, and not to mention Coke diversified into water and energy drink and a sports drink. So, and the size of these product offerings are also varied. For example, Coke cans are usually 300 milliliter cans. That's more common for individual consumption. But then you also have 2-liter bottles, great for parties and family consumption. So all these attributes of product like size, packaging, and brand, logo on it produces the product. And sometimes new products are introduced to keep up with the changes in generations. So here we talk about Diet Coke introduces new cans and flavors to attract millennial generation. So let's talk about price. So price is the monetary and non-monetary sacrifice that customers make. Earlier we mentioned price is the money you part with, but that's not the full cost of acquiring products. Waiting in line is an indirect cost on consumers. You drive somewhere, and if the product is available in a store that's too far, that's also adding to the cost, indirect cost of acquiring the product. So as a marketer, we need to be aware of the true cost of product to price. So in order to make the products more valuable, meaning increase customer value, we should not only worry about the monetary price or financial price, but also the opportunity cost. If you are studying economics, you probably learned about the opportunity cost, which is cost of other activities that you gave up in order to secure the product or get the product. Place. We are so used to buy stuff in the stores, and with the advent of the internet, we are also increasingly shopping online. But the idea is the same. The product has to move from a facility to your doorstep. Either you pick it up at the store, or it is being delivered to you. So an e-commerce company, they are also retailer, so they have to think about how to get the products to your doorstep, and that's part of place, delivering the value proposition. So a store should be located where consumers are concentrated, and sometimes that's not always possible because a lot of people are located in the rural areas. Luckily, America is urbanized. Majority of the people here live in urban areas, but there are people who are located in the rural areas, in farm towns, where online delivery is the way to go. Or people probably make shopping trips very sparsely and infrequent shopping trips. But that's the challenge of distribution, how to reach to the end consumer. Promotion. Promotion is basically communicating value what does the product do for you, and why should you buy this particular product and not a competitive brand. So that's the first job of promotion, to make people aware or inform that this product exists and this is a great value. But informing is not enough, because people forget, and there are other competitive offerings that are also informing consumers. So there is a huge challenge and in terms of having people to remember various offerings. So we need to persuade people to get the product and not just wait on the sideline. So the second job of communication or promotion is to persuade, and then people forget, and then we start all over again, remind how to get the product and what the product stands for, what is the value proposition. And marketers use several methods to do promotion. You are more familiar with probably advertising, but there are also others like coupons, as you can see on the slide, giveaways, sweepstakes, contests, and so on. So let's take a stock of what we have learned so far. So what is the definition of marketing? Well, if you don't remember, definition of marketing is an enterprise tasked with creating, communicating, and delivering value to customers such that customers are satisfied and organizations reach their objectives of profit and other possible non-profit goals. So fill in the blanks. Marketing is about satisfying blank and blank. Well, it is satisfying needs and wants. Number 3, what are the 4 components of the marketing mix? The 4 P's are also called the marketing mix, so that's the answer. Product, price, place, promotion. So let's talk about how marketing evolved over time. And there is a lecture by Philip Kotler, who is the marketing guru, one of the renowned marketing experts. So he has a lecture somewhere on YouTube, and this is compiled from his lecture basically. So pre-20th century, marketing was mainly distribution centered. It was all about moving the product from the manufacturer to the end consumer. So it was focused on stores, delivery, logistics. So pretty boring and mundane. It was important, of course, but it was a narrow focus of marketing. Then in 20th century, the experts realized that there's more to it. Packaging makes a huge difference, and having different product size to meet various demands like segments, that is also important. And the importance of price in terms of making price attractive, partition the price into smaller chunks when people can pay, financing, and obviously the distribution piece is retained, because that's important. So in 20th century, production-oriented marketing took hold, with the focus on making excellent products and differentiated products. And then the new millennium, 2000 and later, we talk about social media marketing, engaging the customer, and constantly being in touch, and customer relationship management. That's the latest evolution of marketing. So the last learning objective was what value-based marketing means. The focus on marketing is providing customer value, but it doesn't necessarily mean selling a cheaper price. A product can be expensive, apparently expensive for a lot of people, yet can provide a tremendous value, because if it provides more in customer's mind than what it costs, then you got a superior customer value. So the price itself cannot define the value proposition. So you have to weigh the price against what is included in the product, what need it satisfies. So marketers can charge more by adding more value to the product. Sometimes it means extra service, sometimes it means warranty, sometimes it means free returns, sometimes it means free training, how to use the product, and so on and so forth. So we continue on how do farms conduct value-based marketing. Well, in order to keep up the value proposition, you need to gather deep knowledge about customer needs and behavior. If you don't understand enough what customers could be needing, what are their pressure points, what are their pain points, then it's impossible to come up with a blockbuster product, successful product. Then once you understand that, then next step is to design and deliver products that are better aligned with customers' needs. And this is the execution part, implementation of the idea of value and make it work, make it reality. And not only that, the creating customer value doesn't end there. You need to close the loop by connecting with customers, because customers' need may be evolving and changing. So you go back to the step one. You are more knowledgeable about what changed in customer, and you tweak your products and fine-tune your products again. That's why we have new product development, and new products are introduced all the time. So let me ask you, why is it important to know more about customers? Well, as you know, many good marketing companies, they have better grasp of their customers. And companies like Apple, for example, they refresh their iPhones about every 2 years, sometimes more frequently. That's because they want to keep on enlightening the customers, delighting the customers by new products. So they keep on coming, and they're replacing their phones and not holding on to them until they break. So that is the idea. You just need to have deep customer knowledge. Well, that's the conclusion of chapter 1. I hope you enjoyed the presentation, and this will be posted in Blackboard, and PowerPoint without the narration will also be posted, so you can see the links and so forth. Well, talk to you soon again in a different chapter.